The Škoda Superb has had a few things consistent ever since it was first launched in 2004 in India. Space, prestige and solidity. It is now in its third generation and is based on the MQB platform, which is shared with a lot of other cars in the Volkswagen family tree. But this variant that you see here is not only about space and solidity and prestige, it is also apparently about sportiness. Really? Let's find out. You settle down in this sea of black and it is not such a bad thing. In fact, I like an all-black cabin. But I have to really rewire my head because I never expected the Superb to come with such a monochrome look on the inside. Anyway, for most part, the quality is pretty good, which is kind of usual for a Škoda because its cars have always been very well done and very nicely trimmed out. The plastic strip over here, that could have been done slightly better. It tries very hard to pass off as a carbon trim, but then it fails really. And yeah, other than that, everything feels pretty good enough. I also like the screen quite a lot. It is very slick and works quite intuitively. Anyway, now let's come to this material. It's called Alcantara and there is a good amount of it in this car. And you know, when it comes to reviewing cars, if there is a car that swims in Alcantara, we guys go all weak in the knees and feel great about it. But what exactly is Alcantara? Well, it's not really leather, unlike a lot of people who think it is. It's a synthetic microfiber fabric which feels quite like suede. And in fact, the material itself is called Ultra Suede and not Alcantara. Alcantara is a brand, but it became synonymous with this material, like how Xerox became synonymous or the default word for photocopy, and Google has become synonymous with anything that you search on the internet. Alcantara has become synonymous with this material. Alcantara has a great perception value and is associated with luxury and sportiness. And this material, it's a grippy thing, so it's relatively better to hold you in place, and it also has a greater tolerance towards fire, and that is the reason why it is used so extensively in racing cars. So Škoda surely is trying hard with this Sportline trim to convince us that this is a really enthusiastic car. Well, I don't think it's truly sporty. It is definitely very confident in its driving manners and it sits very planted even at very high speeds. But that is not sporty in my books. That is essentially the basics of good engineering that any car should have. The engine, well, it's a 2-liter petrol turbocharged. It does about 190 horsepower and 320 Newton meter. And it does a fairly good job of moving this really big sedan at a decent clip. But it's not special in any way and it does not feel like a sporty experience. But the gain of speed is very strong and the torque is really nicely spread out. And you're never left pressing throttle pedal with great force if you want to get some move on. In fact, I really like the way it pulls after about 3000 RPM until about 4500. I think that is the sweet spot of this engine. From 2000 to 5000, it's a good power band to have, but it really gets going and it gets into the mood when it's between 3000 and 4500. The transmission, it's the tried and tested and the lovely 7-speed DSG. It shifts up pretty well, downshifts even better, and you can hold the revs by shifting manually through the paddles. But really just leave it in S and it'll figure everything out and it's going to work quite beautifully. And speaking of S or sport mode, that's only for the transmission. There is nothing here that lets you get into the sport mode or alters the inherent nature of the car in any way. There is no suspension stiffening or there is no sensitivity alteration in the steering. So the dynamic boundaries are really not expanded in any way at all. Now this thing rides on 17-inch wheels, and we were debating whether it should have been on bigger wheels at all, 19 inches or something like that. But I think 17s are just fine because the ride anyway can get a little busy if the road surface is compromised beyond a certain limit. I'm not suggesting that it gets jumpy inside the car or the suspension feels like it's crashing, but it is stiffly sprung and you can hear it, and that is a little disconcerting. But the ride quality is fairly manageable if you like that sort of indulgence, and you're going to limit yourself to typical city roads. But this is where the Superb really should have sparkled bright. If there was one thing other than, of course, the space that was hugely appreciated about the Superb, it was always the ride quality. And this Sportline variant, it has kind of lost that. And that is a debate going on in my head, that why would you buy this variant of the Superb? The Superb was always supposed to be corseting and opulent experience without being dynamically flawed. It continues to be quite sorted in its driving manners, but it is not luxurious in the typical Superb way, nor is it sporty enough to make a strong case for itself. In my view, the Superb in its LNK variant makes a lot more sense, especially because it also gets a lot more features, but it's not like the Sportline variant is Spartan on the inside or anything like that. On the outside, it gets all LED illumination, and there is a discrete spoiler at the back. It looks very smart. And then on the inside, first of all, there's a huge amount of space, and it has just continued throughout the generations of the Superb. And then there are 8 airbags. There is this great virtual cockpit right in front of you, and you can switch between display types. Then what else? These sporty seats draped in Alcantara. And there are other regular things like cruise control, then you get full connectivity options. And one thing that I really think is missing from the Superb is wireless charging. And the Sportline trim has one really big problem, and that is the Octavia VRS. Yes, it is quite a little bit of money more than the Superb Sportline, but then if you look at it from a broader perspective, they're essentially in the same broad price bracket. And especially in this price segment, if you want a performance-oriented Škoda, you already have your mind set on the Octavia VRS. If not, then you basically just want the Superb, and that should be the LNK. So I'll sum it up here. If you want a Škoda that gives you all the features, reasonable space and comfort, but you want fun and sportiness, just go and buy the Octavia VRS.